Hello there everybody and welcome back to another video. Today in this video we are going to be discussing who will die in The Mandalorian Season 2, because personally I think there will be a death at the very end of the series, in the last episode. But before we go into it, there will be spoilers ahead for Mando Season 2, let's just say Mando Season 2, there will be spoilers ahead, so just to let you know before you go any further. Also, by the way, this is just my personal opinion. You can agree, you can disagree, your opinion, my opinion, this is mine, but feel free to let me know yours down in the comments. So the first person who I think could potentially, well, first and foremost, let's just go through the ones who definitely won't die. Moff Gideon, he's not going to die. He might die in the very last season, but I don't think he'll die. That would be a bit controversial, I think, if he did. Now, obviously, Mando, I really don't see him dying. I don't see Bo-Katan dying if she joins up with him, and I also don't see Grogu dying. That none of those would make logical sense. So that's just good to get that out there. Just say that I don't think that those ones will die, because it wouldn't make financial sense for Disney, and Disney are all about making money, as I've said many times. So the first person who I think could potentially die is Boba Fett. Now this one might be a bit controversial, and I personally, this is probably the least likely on the list to die, but I could still see it happening. I could still see Boba maybe sacrificing himself to save, because I think they might go back to Kamino for their last battle. That might be where they are. So if they are on Kamino, then Boba might sacrifice himself, and that could be kind of cool, because it could be like he dies in the same place that he was born. That could be really poetic and stuff. That could be really dope. But also, if he does die, it'll be very sad, of course, because we don't want him to die, preferably. That also wouldn't be very good if he did. Yeah, the only thing that he could potentially sacrifice himself, like I said, by maybe firing his rocket off and up and into the ceiling, and it'll crush all the stormtroopers and maybe some just captains or something, and he'll die, but the child and everyone else will be safe. That could be really, like I said, really poetic if they are on Kamino, and if done correctly, which of course it will be because it's Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, it'll just be amazing. So the next person who I think could die in The Mandalorian Season 2 is Cara Doom. Now this will be a bit controversial. Well, no, see, I think that Disney would do it, and I think Disney might, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni might not want to, but I think Disney would tell them to, because if you know what I'm referring to, you know what I'm referring to. I don't want to get into that. That, if you want me to talk about it, that's another video. But for today's video, I don't want to talk about her and Gina Carano and what she's been saying on Twitter. We won't talk about that, but if you know what that's about, then you know why Disney probably wouldn't want her working with The Mandalorian anymore. But then it has been announced that there's going to be a Cara Doom and Bo-Katan spin-off series. But it's really weird because Disney are tweeting all this stuff out. They stand for completely what she's been tweeting out against. So, I don't know. For me, personally, obviously what she was saying wasn't very nice. But then it's just a bit ironic how Disney are tweeting out stuff. I don't know. Right, I don't want to get into that. But if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, I advise you just Google Gina Carano tweets, something like that, and then you'll see loads of stuff. She tweeted some stuff about the election and other stuff that I'm just not going to get into. So Disney might just tell Dave, as I said, that right, she needs to be killed off. But then they announced a Bo-Katan and Cara Dune spin-off series. So it just doesn't really... No, it's a bit like oil and water. They're not really mixing at the moment, but hopefully it'll be straightened out. So the next person who I think could be killed off in The Mandalorian Season 2 is Fennec Shan. Now this might seem a bit odd, why would they kill her off? Because she just appeared in the Bad Batch trailer. If you don't know, Disney went to the investors on Wednesday, I believe, and then Thursday, well, very late Thursday, early Friday morning for us in the UK, they then announced loads of stuff, like an Ahsoka show, a Kenobi show, a High Republic show, a Bo-Katan and Cara Dune spin-off series, the Bad Batch. They showed a trailer for, and the Cassian Andor series. So they showed a trailer for. and there was also Rogue Squadron, a Star Wars story, and that was all going to be edited, and that's going to be the only movie actually for Star Wars that's coming out for the next 3 years, which just seems insane to me that they just everything's just moved on to these streaming and series and these TV series. Honestly, with COVID, I wouldn't be surprised if cinema places just went bust permanently, because for somewhere like Disney that owns all of these companies, why wouldn't you just set up a streaming service like they have done and then just upload all of your content onto there? Because I bet you they make more money off of it as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if they went bust. But hey, yeah, Fennec Shan. I just start to jibber jabber in these videos and babble and just, yeah, no. Okay, so Fennec Shan. She probably will be, this is probably the second most likely after Cara Doom, in my opinion, to be killed off, because she's a little bit of a side character. Obviously, she was saved by Boba, but still, yeah, I could potentially also see maybe she betrays Boba and Mando. Like, that's the other thing that I've also seen, is that maybe Fennec and Boba could rescue the child with Mando, but then betray Mando and take the child back to Moff Gideon. And that could be really, really cool at the very end. And then it's just at the very end, like, Ezra or Luke appears, and they're just like, right, well, where's Grogu? I'm here to train him. And then Mando will just be like, oh, well, I was betrayed by Boba Fett, and he took him off with me. He took Grogu, and yeah. And now I'm just depressed, because, yeah, in the last episode we saw that he was going to just take off his helmet in front of people purely to get the kid back. So he is pretty desperate to get him back, I think I would say. Yeah, Fennec Shan. It would, it could also, because we do see her in the Bad Batch trailer fighting on Kamino. So if she was fighting on Kamino then, and then maybe she was born on Kamino or helped to train the clones or whatever, maybe she then died on Kamino, that could also be very poetic, like I said about the Boba death. So the next person who I think could potentially die in The Mandalorian Season 2 is Grievous Karga. Now, I personally I wasn't really sure about this one. I was thinking, do I include him, do I not? But I think he might, because Carl Weathers has been tweeting, saying that, like, he's been tweeting some, like, slightly mysterious stuff. I'm not even sure if it's tweeting, it might have just been on an interview or something. But he was saying some mysterious stuff about, like, how Grievous Karga, how he might potentially be done with. No, I don't think it was about him being done. I don't know, he's just been tweeting some mysterious stuff that could potentially hint at him dying. Personally, I don't particularly mind if he dies. I know some people were actually expecting him to die in Season 1 full stop, but he didn't, obviously. I don't know, I think now that he's, like, the like, leader of the Navarro, I think he could be quite, he's quite a good character, and I quite like him. But that is it. They are my predictions for who will die in Mando Season 2. I don't think all of them will die. I think there'll only be one or two, if that. I wouldn't be surprised if they just didn't kill anybody off. But I would like to thank you all for watching. I am working on the what if Anakin left with Ahsoka. I'm still working on that. I've written the script, like I said, probably a month ago. just editing the videos. I don't know. They just seem like a really big and daunting task, and my brain just doesn't want to do it, to put it simply. So, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Let me know who you think will die in The Mandalorian Season 2, or just any predictions that you have for the final episode in the comments below. And I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in a brand new video. Bye-bye.